The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a 0 becomes a 1, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD Black NVMe SSD. Fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.
Op 4 has placed a diffuser near a bomb. Destroy it. Diffuser located. Protect the bomb. Last operator standing. Located the diffuser. Destroy it.
And there we see qualifying come to a close then, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ourselves looking over towards racing action. 2 minutes to grid up. All drivers will start from that place known as pit lane. It's going to be a very interesting battle down into the opening couple of corners for 20 minutes worth of racing action here in these Dallara F3s as they all look to try and put themselves on the board and get a good run today over the racing that we have going on. If you haven't realised, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a giveaway available to you here today. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook Live, if you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on Twitter, just put a little thing in the chat here as I ask you 3 questions over the course of the races going on, and I'll give you the first one right about now. So which various race cars have been used by Volkswagen Motorsports India for racing in India? And I will give you a little hint for this one because I'm so very, very nice, and that is that you've got 4 cars to go and try and find. Put them in the comments if you can, and we can all look about getting yourself towards a fantastic prize coming up. It's so secret, it's in a mystery box. Who knows what it's going to be? Even I don't know what it's going to be. But at the moment, there is one guarantee at the moment, and that is Mohammed Ibrahim having a brilliant run in qualifying to absolutely walk away from the rest of the field in the pink, white and blue Dallara F3, looking to try and make that progress forward and make a good start. On the racing line though, on the inside, that's going to be crucial, on the outside, sorry, at the moment, that's going to be crucial for the getaway. But what's going to be key is those drivers on the dirty side of the track, on the inside, do have that chance to lunge down into turn number 1, as this opening lap could get very hectic around a track which is a little bit narrower than some, as they all look to try and get themselves ready here on IR Esports. We welcome you into the conversation. 2 minutes are up on the clock, so let's get ourselves ready. Lights are on, and 20 minutes worth of racing action starts right about now. It's a great start there from Mohammed Ibrahim, getting the progress off the line that was so very much needed, and has 4 or 5 car lengths here as they all funnel towards that opening section of track. A big lunge down the inside there. The second position, it looks like it's Kuti there who's got the move and has got everything that's needed. Everybody nice and cleanly through so far as they make their way through the Mercedes-Benz arena then for the very first time, as they all look to try and run through and have an easy opening lap here. It's a 90-degree right-hander goes through. Spinner in the background there, didn't quite catch who that was going on by, but 2 spinners now through turn 4. Cold tyres, always very difficult on the iRacing tyre model version 7, new tyre model version 7. So 2 spinners have really managed to open up the field quite a bit. Little wide in the battle for third. Here's a little look then down for the inside looking. Then at this stage they go on through. That's Niraj and Kumar under pressure from Cypraditi here in this battle. Can they all sort it nice and calmly? Yes, they just about can here, as it is going to be Kumar holding on to that place at the moment as they rise up the hill then after what has been a little bit of a hectic opening lap then to this event. Everybody funneling into position. Another little look there from Praviti trying to get on through. So Prithvi not quite there at the moment. Still looking, but a good run here out of the Steiner curve and up the hill once more. Could be exactly what's needed. You don't have much time to think in these sorts of races. You've got to be on it from moment 1 to moment last. A look to the inside, using the toe to advantage, and that is a very, very astute move from Prithvi there at that moment in time, knowing that there was no chance to really run too wide, no reason to be aggressive in the early stages. Sai Prithvi then up into 3rd place after the opening section of this race. Ibrahim leads, Kuti 2nd, Prithvi 3rd, and Kumar still fighting this one back for 4th place. There's Tyagi in 5th place, just watching on the outside, looking in. Yedra on his own in 6th position, and Samaravel's had a good start then, up into 8th position overall here in this one. This has been a very, very great start then to this race, as Sai Prithvi's done well, but it is Mohammed Ibrahim who is out in front and looking unchallenged at this moment, but you can't afford to let off and run at 95, 96%. You can see, of course, the gaps between the drivers here on the, just above the ticker here. We've got this driver graphic going on. You can see how fast they're going in kilometers an hour as they put on the power once again. Sai Prithvi, they're in 3rd position at the moment, trying to break away here at this stage in time from the driver behind as Kumar tries to close on, as Niranjan Kumar is doing everything. This little 3-car scrap is going to be key to how this race is going to work. Ankit Tyagi has just been keeping quiet there in the green Dallara, just waiting for that opportunity to come along and just hoping that drivers start to run into each other. The battle is on behind though for that 6th place as Raiden Samaravel here is just trying to close this gap back down, trying to pick up this position, but again, it's going to have to be a waiting game here. They don't get DRS, even though there is a DRS board there, which stands for drag reduction system. That's more the Formula 1 style vehicles we find on the iRacing service. But Raiden Samaravel here trying to get close enough to make a move through the chicane. You're not really going to be hitting too much on the brakes. They travel on through in 4th gear through the final corner, trying to find everything possible. But by the looks of things here, it looks like this is going to be a pretty entertaining battle. But we have had a couple of drivers look to run themselves, it seems, into a couple of troubles here. And I believe Kumar is one of them who's run into a huge moment here. Had a massive off there at the chicane. I believe Amit Kuti is okay at the moment, but just looking at it there, Kumar and Tyagi both going off at the final corner. I just caught them both sliding off the circuit, carrying a bit too much speed, and they both tumble massively down the order here. So Tyaghi's all the way back down here in 12th position overall, and with a lot of work to do then for the second half of this event. So now as they go on forward here, 1/4 distance score complete, so you can say the 3/4 of this event going well. Yedrin out for Samaravel up to 5th, Tyaghi looking down the inside there, but can't quite get past Yedav to get that one done. But Raiden Samaravel here in what is 5th position is trying to find a way through on Yedra, but not being able to find anything that works just yet. But as we've seen, cold tyres in the early goings makes this track very, very difficult here as they battle through and try and gain position one after another here, as Samaravel forced to sit in and wait behind a little bit more then in terms of this battle going on forward. What's key though today is who is predicted, so to speak, in terms of picking up this race victory overall. And well, what you could say is the bookies' guide, the form choice, some would say. This is who the favourite is supposedly going to be here for this race here today.
Hey everyone, this is Raghav, driver of the number 63 car. This weekend, we're at the Green Hell, the Nürburgring. It's a really challenging track filled with lots of opportunities for overtaking and potential for mistakes as well. It's really technical and filled with elevation changes and different corner profiles. I'm hoping for a clean, exciting and entertaining race for viewers at home. The start will be really crucial for people to score points in the race because it's a tight turn one and people can crash.
Well, there's the eyes here on Raghav Bujiraja at this stage, trying to make progress, is in 17th position overall at the moment, so it's not quite been the best race possible. Car going wide a little bit in front, but it's side by side for 4th and 5th. This is Abdul Hadi here, trying to have this scrap, trying to get on through as they funnel in through the corner. Contact behind there from the orange card vehicle there. Samaravel gone on through. Yedra had made a mistake earlier on the lap. It was Karan Kaushik there who'd run into a few troubles out on circuit there, running down the inside. We catch it, I believe, on replay, diving for the inside, the door left open, but didn't get down to the inside quick enough. And there is the casualty that everyone did not want to see in the early going. So Karen Kovcik then up into what is 6th position overall, looking to try and make some great progress back into 5th, tries again to look down the inside, and wide went Hadi, and there's more contacts. They go on through the front nose, completely missing there for the time being. They're off of, I believe, they're going on forward. That was not ideal for Samaravel, and now everybody's going to try and funnel in. There's 3 wide with Tiage Kupka and Tasia, I do believe it is. Stone, it's Rohit Raut going side by side, but there's some dramas, huge dramas at the front of the mid-pack, of this field, and everybody going on. Tiage without the front wing here as they go on through, more contact as they funnel on by. There go the wheels on the wagon, and Tiage just about saving it there. vehicles off left, right, and centre in 6s and 7s, and drivers going to have to come down in and make a stop. We get a look here. Banu Teja gets down to the inside, does well, but when you don't have a front wing, you're missing that downforce. Was that wise for Banu Teja to go and be aggressive when other drivers will be needing to come down into the pits, making a stop in these sorts of battles that are going on? We go back to live coverage here at the moment. Banu Teja in 11th place still here out on track, but this field, the mid-pack changing absolutely massively. It's still Mohammed Ibrahim up front, Kuti second, VP in third, Hadi in fourth, and now Roy up into fifth positions. Kumar now up in sixth, Yadav in seventh, Route 8, Teixeira has moved up into ninth with Budi Raja picking up a lot of positions here, and now up inside the top 10 at the start of the last lap, was all the way back down in 17th position overall. That tells you all you need to know about how this race is going, as does that gap between third and fourth places. Teja goes through the corner there down at the Dunlop hairpin. It's 16 seconds between third and fourth, and there's a car off there, as we see out of the exit. That's Rohit Raut, who's run into troubles then off of the exit of the corner. We catch it on the slow-mo here, and it's that curb on the outside, runs a little wide, tyres dip into the gravel, and then all of the traction falls away. Tyres go into the Armco, just about able to get that going again, but there's no rear downforce now in the car, and that will have to be a case of serving a pit stop to try and get all the damage repaired. Half distance, almost there at the moment, as we focus on Banu Teja at the moment, as drivers start to get lapped a little bit. Here's your race leader, Mohammed Ibrahim, at this stage in time, having a really, really good run of things at the moment, running up at the front, 4 seconds clear of Kuti in second position, with Prithvi there in third, trying to keep chase, 2.3 seconds back of Amit Kuti here in second. This is a solid top three run at the moment, no real breakaways, but these top three, they'll all be trying to run consistent lap times, get into the mindset of the driver in front and try and force a couple of mistakes here and there to hope that there may just be a case of opportunities later on from unforced errors. And of course it is that Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost sort of respect at Monaco 88, where Senna had a massive lead and Alain Prost just put fastest laps in, put the mind games on, and Senna found the wall and retired from the race. Here's Abdul Hadi in fourth position, has really profited off of everyone's mistakes, has not had the biggest turn of pace in this race so far, but to be up in fourth position, you have to say that is a big advantage. That battle, fifth and sixth place just behind. Ankit Roy looking under pressure at the moment. They head through the Schumacher S up the hill. If you get a great run here, that toe is going to be so important. And Niranjan Kumar on the recovery here, thinking about diving for the inside, thinks better of it. That's too narrow there going on through, and Kumar can just breeze on around the outside without any worries at all. And that is probably one of the easiest moves. A fantastic move around the outside. You don't often see them at that corner around the outside, but when you're so narrow on the inside and you're worried about car placement, it's so easy to just snap your fingers and see a mistake happen in the blink of an eye. Niranjan Kumar then up into fifth place overall and trying to chase down to fourth. It will be a long shot to get up to the podium positions here today, but for Niranjan Kumar, it is a case of recovery here at this moment in time, and everybody will be trying as much as they can here to get themselves through. We were talking about the giveaway earlier on, as Raghav Budhiraja at the moment looks down to the inside here for 8th place, gets through and gets the position sorted out. And you know what? I'll bring you a double take with all the questions that we've got here. So answer in the comments if you have an understanding. Number 2, who was the first Volkswagen Motorsport India 1 Make Series champion? And question number 3, next Volkswagen Motorsport India Championship will use what car? Put your answers in the description and there will be a winner for the giveaway pretty soon, I would say. Great battling though for just the places inside of the top 10. Banu Teja here in 10th position, gets a little wiggle trying to put the power down on the exit here, fighting for that 9th and 8th positions with the drivers just in front. On the brakes into the hairpin, they all come along once again as Teixeira now into 9th place, Budi Raja into 8th at the moment, as they all look to make that progress here and move on forward. This mid-pack doing a brilliant job of putting themselves together, but they all stack up behind Yadav in 7th position on the road right now. So this 4-car train all relies on a lot. 5 laps to go on the timer, as everybody has this great battle that's going on at the moment. Everybody trying to get as close as they possibly can to getting up there and finding that one extra position, sometimes in the mid to late race, here with 5 laps to go or so. It's all about staying clean, staying consistent, and thinking about the micro and not the macro. Think about one position here, one position there. That's what these drivers will be focusing on at the moment, so they make that run down the front stretch. One of the prime overtaking opportunities here on this circuit, as they think about maybe turn number 1 as being this place to look, defended by Teixeira slightly down on the inside of this corner. Really does fall away as you all put on the power and try and move on forward. Another little look there from Teixeira inside of 2 isn't going to be working out there at that stage, as everyone going to get, or trying to get themselves moving on forward. The Bamboost update, remember you can vote your favourite driver on YouTube by commenting their name in the comments in the screen at this point in time. So if you've got a favourite who you're absolutely loving in terms of this battle, put it in the comments. We'll have a look as Barney Teixeira again looking close here to getting past Teixeira, who's having none of it. Yadav under pressure as well here in terms of this scrap, trying to just negotiate away with everything. It's all about defending, but there is Mohamed Ibrahim at the front of the field going through the final chicane out on track and pretty much impervious at this moment to anybody else behind. The gap up over 5 seconds here at this point in time. Well, 4.9 is pretty much 5 seconds, you could say, at this point. Prithvi there in third. Kuti just staying close, but not enough, it seems, at this moment to really keep everything going on in the right direction in terms of these battles going out on track. So there is Sai Prithvi there in third position, a 4.5 second gap behind at this point in time, but just cannot find that next stage to just close this gap back down and get good. Here is Niranjan Kumar, though. What work has he done over the course of the last handful of laps, pulling the gap back down here for 4th position out on the road. And this is going to be crucial in terms of Kumar's recovery. Remember, qualified incredibly well up inside the top 3, had dramas in the opening couple of laps, and now trying to recover this all the way back to 4th position. We go on board through turn number 3, 180 degrees, a very easy place to spin up the tyres. Then you've got this 90 degree right, but you have to use all the road, and a little bit more if you're trying to be brave like Niranjan Kumar. He's at this stage in time trying to chase down Abdul Hadi here in 4th position here, down the hill, through the next right-hand bend, and trying to attack the next section of the road. The key here for Niranjan Kumar is just staying close, knows that he's in the range to maybe go out there and have an attack, and this is going to be a little bit of a tool to keep at this stage in terms of this battle. While we do watch this battle going on, we do have a driver here for interview. Cameron's going to stand by as we have a little conversation with how he's getting on.
Yeah, so hi guys, I'm Kavin. I'm from Chennai. I'm doing my final year in Loyola College. And yeah, so I'm 19. My main hobbies is like I game a lot. Like I play professional esports. I used to play professional esports, but now I'm like kind of more interested towards sim racing. And so yeah, I basically focus on that one. I'm trying to focus on that one. I just got started like a few months ago.
Well, while we looked at that, a disaster we didn't want to see. Hadi coming together then through the left-hand bend, of course, with the driver behind, and that was not ideal. Abdul Hadi and Niranjan Kumar running into troubles. You can see the buckled front nose there of Niranjan Kumar's car, and that's going to be putting all sorts of dramas together for this race. You can see it right now. Dive down to the inside. Contact there at the apex. Great heads-up drive from Kumar to take the wide line there. That was Swaraj Yadav running into troubles as Raghav Bujiraja then running into the back going forward. I have a feeling that students will have a lot of talking to do after this event. As Yadav, you can see it right now, it wasn't the easiest idea in the world. Tried to cover off the line and made a couple of quick movements there, and Budiraja there just running into the back, not quite slowing the car up enough, moving on forward, and that felt a little bit clumsy moving on forward. Now Kumar's going to be under pressure here from Budiraja in this battle for 6th and 7th place. Of course, there's not much you can do when you're going to be down on a straight line because the aerodynamics are not quite in favour at this stage. There's the look down to the inside, and there's not much you can argue with. Nice block pass, and there is Budiraja up into what is now 6th place here in this one overall. Roy will be the next chase up in 5th place, but the time has been lost. It's 1.5 seconds almost now, nearly 2.5 seconds that I'm seeing right now on screen in terms of trying to catch, and there's only a couple of laps to go. Yadav is already through on Kumar as well. That damage is clearly affecting here in terms of the way this race is going for Kumar at this stage, as he will look to try and get himself as close as he possibly can to finishing this one outright. But the big issue is running around with that much damage is not ideal. At the front, Mohamed Ibrahim in full control of this race at the moment. You can't really argue against it here. Has led every single lap of this race. It's the fastest lap as well to boot. It's 5.6 seconds down the road from Kuti in 2nd place. Amith Kuti unable to do anything at the moment to chase down Mohamed Ibrahim, and this has really been the story of the mid-pack of gone to town and had massive battles here, there and everywhere. But what has all been key is the fact that it has been Ibrahim in total control with this one at the front. Abdul Hadi, though, is under pressure after that contact from behind. I wouldn't be surprised if there was any damage. Now, Roy will be trying to get as close as possibly can. Ankit Roy wanting to get on through into that 4th place. A little look down the inside. Look at that front right, though. There as they go on through. Very high winds being run by everybody here today as they look to make that progress. But what is going to be the key is they hit the brakes and go into the next right-hander. That's a huge lock-up, and it's a big mistake from Ankit Roy, able to just about keep the car going, but at the cost of another position here. And it seems like right out of Budiraja here from 17th, just 10 minutes ago, is now up to 5th, and this is a brilliant charge, despite the controversy of who's made contact here and who's hit each other where. Budiraja is up into 5th place at this point in time, having a wonderful run of things here to gain place upon place as they all fight about half a minute plus behind your race leaders at the moment. We are on the final lap then of this race. 20 minutes have gone by in the blink of an eye. We could have been finished a lap earlier, but because Ibrahim is so quick, Mohamed Ibrahim, we had 10 seconds left on the clock. You can see right now the gap 5.5 seconds heading through the mid part of the lap, the Mullenbacher they go through at this stage. That's the name of the track down here at the bottom of the hill. Kuti in 2nd, Prithvi in 3rd, and Hadi still holding on to that 4th place, but is under pressure still for that 4th position outright. The gap 0.5 second at this stage here as Abdul Hadi's going to have to look behind and worry here about Budiraja's charge up through the field, doing exactly what is needed here in the late stages to gain places, but not quite there at the moment through turn 3. Hopefully turn 4 looking is going to be a little bit better, but this is all set up from here to now on the final lap of this race. But it won't be long before the checkered flag will be taken as Mohamed Ibrahim takes the rise up at Van Bogen for the final time here in this one. Nobody has been able to touch him in a month of Saturdays. It has been a nice casual evening drive, and now heading for the final corner out on circuit through the 120-degree right-hander. It's round 3 taken for Mohamed Ibrahim, and it was at a canter with this race win without any worries at all. Amith Kuti will come home in 2nd position, and it will be Sai Prithvi who will take 3rd place here in this race. Exactly what was needed in terms of the racing action, but it is still on for that 4th place. Abdul Hadi is going to be under pressure all the way up to the line, you feel. A great run from Budiraja here through the Vorsteiner curve, and now tucked up in that toe, looking to angle to that inside, but it will soon switch back to the outside, and just like that, straight through, able to carry that momentum and trying to get back into the tow desperately. There is Hadi trying to get through, but Araja doing just enough here in fourth. Has run wide though, and that's going to open the door up here down at the inside. Is there going to be a look? No, not quite there. The door is firmly shut. Ajar it was, but Ajar not being a door will mean that that position's not there. Ankit Roy will only get sixth just behind, with Yadav coming home in 7th place then come the end. A fantastic run as the final few drivers all look to get through, as B. Kevin having a good little scrap towards the end as well. Cannot get past Federico Teixeira in 9th place. He gets 10th come the end of this one overall. Niranjan Kumar picking up an 11th place come the end of this one, as well as the final few drivers come on through. But confirmation of the result, unofficial at this stage before the stewards have things to talk about. It will be Mohammed Ibrahim who picks up the win here in this one by 6.1 seconds over Amit Kuti. Sai Prithvi will take 3rd place overall. And look at the gap between the front three and the rest of the pack. 51 seconds back in 4th place. Raghav Buddharajda had a bit of controversy here today, but was able to really close down the positions and get on through up into that 4th place. Abdul Hadi picks up 5th, with 6th position going to Ankit Roy. It was Swaraj Yadav in 7th, with Chelvin Fernandez there in 8th place. Federico Teixeira takes 9th, with B. Kevin running at the top 10. And then it's Niranjan Kumar struggling with damage late, falling back to 11th from being up in 5th place. And Vijay Ayraj there in 12th position overall. Over the page then for the last finishers then in terms of this one. And there were a handful of people who did not have the best run overall. Prant Hamesh Yedra gets 13th, dropping 7 places. Karan Kaushik in 14th. And you got Rohit Raut. Raiden Samravel was up as high as 4th at stages in this one. Sunil Kukta, 1 lap down come the end. And then retirement central for Banu Teja, Ankit Tyagi, and Divyang Dodia, as well as Ronnie Veschelberger, who was out right at the very beginning of this event early on here in this one. But we do have drivers here waiting for interview, waiting for a little bit of a chat, and we'll bring in the race winner right now, Mohammed Ibrahim. And Mohammed, that was a pretty comfortable drive, you would have to say, from you. You got pole position, fastest lap. You waltzed away with the race. You can't really argue too much about having an easier time of things today.
Yeah, yes. Hello everyone. It was a great race. It was quite comfortable out there, but the car had lots of understeer, so I have to manage the front tires quite a bit. So I had to cruise towards the end a bit to save the front tires. So I was cruising towards the end. It was a great race.
Well, let's just talk about that great race for a moment, because it seemed like all of the action was happening behind you. And over the course of 20 minutes, it's normally a case of having to be dialed in and put the laps in together time and time again and make sure that you're just building a gap early. How important was it just to set yourself down into a nice rhythm, build that gap early, and then manage that gap for the middle to end of the race?
Yeah, it was really important for me to pull in the beginning because I had to really protect the front tires, and I had to cruise to not destroy the front tires. So it was really important for me to pull initially, and it was a great start. So I got pulled quite easily.
Well, the focus, of course, moving over towards the next round of the championship with a victory like this in commanding display, you must be the one with a target on your back, so to speak. So in terms of moving forward with the next races that you've got coming up, how do you feel that this race has set up your momentum moving forward?
Yeah, it's definitely helped for the momentum. So when you win the race, you always get a bit more confidence, and moving forward, it helps you in every kind of way. So it's always good to win, and hopefully I can continue this.
Well, before we let you go, Mohammed, any shout-out sponsors, anyone you'd like to thank for your victory here today?
Yes, I would like to thank you. I would like to thank the commentators. I would like to thank Mohit. I would like to thank IR Esports, Volkswagen, and whoever made this possible. It was a great event, and thanks a lot so much. Thank you, everyone.
Mohammed Ibrahim there picking up a massive victory overall. The driver who finished just behind was Amit Kuti in 2nd position. Now, Amit, you didn't necessarily have a bad race today. You put all the pieces of the puzzle together, but it was just a case of the driver in front of you being just a step ahead.
Yeah, I had a pretty good start going from 4th to 2nd. I actually had a really bad qualifying. I didn't make use of the car totally. I messed up my laps. But yeah, the start was pretty good. Got into 2nd place. and then I was just trying to stay behind him and stay in the slipstream, but made a few mistakes, and that put me like around 2-3 seconds behind him. The first half overall was quite bad. He was really quick, and I think once we came to around 4.5 to 5 seconds, the gap kind of stabilized. I was matching his pace a bit, and by the end of the race, I just let go to not make a mistake, and just solidify my position.
Well, you were able to solidify that position. There's not much you can do in a race like this when you find yourself getting a good start, but again, just not kind of finding enough pace to get there. But when you find yourself now in the place that you are, a very solid second position, really is a confidence booster, I would have thought, for you moving on forward with the next rounds that are coming up. Are you starting to think now that if you continue to put a string of results like these together, you're going to be really knocking on the door, maybe even having a championship push?
I mean, I should be disappointed considering my last two races where I finished first, but it's not really a disappointment. It's actually a good result. And tomorrow, it's a reverse grid, and anything can happen. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully having a good race with no incident.
Well, talking about having raced no incident, 2 wins, a second position. It's working absolutely fantastically for you at the moment. But just very, very quickly, in terms of having to build a rhythm, build a momentum, how difficult are these Dallara F3s to drive? Because people see this car as effectively one of the gateways to open wheel racing in general. But how much goes into driving one of these F3?
Yeah, absolutely. The cars we have in the setup we use is quite understeady, especially on corner exit. But the first lap where the tires are cold can be really tricky. So if you get past lap 1 and lap 2, you can build up a solid rhythm, and you can take it on from there. But you do have to be a bit careful at the final few laps where the tires do go off quite a bit, and you get quite a bit of oversteer on corner entry and exit. So you have to be careful on that, but once you get a good rhythm, you should be good, and you should be looking for some consistent lap times.
Amit Kusi there coming home with second position here in this race. Sai Prithvi gets third position in this one and joins me right now. Now, Sai, it was a case of looking at this race and everyone was thinking about, okay, this could be a really close one for second on backwards, but it seemed like it was a race of the top three and then the race of everyone else afterwards. A lot of incidents happening in and around you, but effectively avoiding all of them.
Yeah, it was quite a lonely race for me, except for the start. I had a pretty terrible start during the first lap. Niranjan got the run on me, and I tried to get it back as soon as possible. But then later on, there was nothing much going on for me, and I lost all my race pace.
Well, pace is always one thing that's very difficult to try and gather back up. But in terms of how you could run that race, the gap between, of course, yourself and Budaraja there at the end of the race was 37 seconds back to fourth place. So obviously you had that feeling that you did have a quite a large buffer margin if there were going to be mistakes out on circuit here today. But it seemed like for you, it was just a case of pick up a comfortable podium, consolidate the results, and then move on to the next race.
Yeah, every point is important in this championship. I just wanted to capitalize on my position and do what I could to solidify the third place today, and hope I can improve my race pace in the future.
And in terms of improving that race pace in the future, do you or have you managed to identify what it is that you're feeling that maybe you're struggling a little bit on compared to your rivals, or is it going to be a case of going back to the drawing board, doing a bit of testing and hoping that you find maybe the solution that you're looking for?
I think it would involve a bit of both. I have some idea as to why it's happening. I just have to test it out again and again and find out what the problem is and become stronger into the next race.
Well, we'll hopefully hope to see you stronger and battling up for the victory overall next time out. Sai Prithvi picking up third position overall. But that draws to a conclusion some wonderful racing action that we have had here today at the Nürburgring. And there is so much more on the horizon with IR Esports. Make sure that you check us out, of course, on YouTube, on Facebook Live, on Twitch, and on Twitter as well. There's been some brilliant racing here today, and there'll be so much more coming up over the next coming weeks and months, and you do not want to miss it.
The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a 0 becomes a 1, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD Black NVMe SSD. Fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.
4 has placed a diffuser near a bomb. Destroy it. Diffuser located. Protect the bomb. Last operator standing. Located the diffuser. Destroy it.
Well, there we can see everyone having a fantastic time with things as drivers now started to grid up here for 20 minutes worth of racing action here in junior category action here today. They're all going to be trying to push up there at the very, very front of the field, but it looks like this could be a very good battle. There's the green flag, there's the go, and it's a good start immediately there at the front. Immediately moving to the racing line goes Saeed Saran, trying to get everything working here towards the opening corner. Here, big drama in the background, 5th, 6th position or so. All goes wrong. That looked like Amitesh, Rao and Chowdhury getting involved there in that as well. Someone else has gone off. That is Abhishek there as well. And that's Snell. That's 6 vehicles all caught in the opening accident then as they went on through. And I wonder if we're going to see anything after all of that. A huge, huge accident then to start the racing. A lot of drivers out of the event in the early goings, but they all get themselves slowing down. It looks like they're going to get themselves all nicely funneling in. Belwaria there in second. You've got Agrawal currently in 3rd place, and Gupta there in 4th. Immediately Belwaria now under pressure. They head through the left. Agrawal nothing doing there as we continue on with racing action there in 2nd place at the moment. The front 4 drivers all clear at the moment, but it was all the action that happened there in the middle of the pack which caused a huge concertina effect and a massive accident then to start this race as they go on into the right of bridge corner and try and get as many laps possible. There is Gupta in 4th place as Agrawal tries to battle here in 3rd, trying to move back into 2nd place, but not quite there at the moment. 1 lap will be very shortly. Score complete. Saran in control. Belwaria in 2nd and Agrawal in 3rd place at the moment as everyone looks to try and funnel through, and everyone's run into a few troubles then on the opening lap then of this event. The top 5 have broken away from the rest of the pack. In 5th place is Debjit Adak there at the moment. Jahan Noble has moved up now into 6th place. And talking about big gainers, Isham Bard at the moment in 8th, runs wide as they go through Cops Corner. Is now up 8 places here in this one here, as a lot of drivers have struggled to get themselves over the line. A whole host of drivers diving down into the pits with damage, and I think we've only got 10 drivers here at the front of the field who have been able to try and get around for a good lap, so some would say, around this place. But the front of the field is where it is at the moment. But look at the Piccadilly Circus, some would say, down on pit lane. Everybody diving in with damage and suspension and all the rest of it as they all are in on the lane. There is Saran at the front of the field trying to break 1 second here in terms of the draft, and that's going to be crucial here. That draft is key as Bell Warrior is struggling to stay in that margin. Agrawal there behind in second, but you can see just how much the gaps are just starting to afflict everyone at the moment. Garvit Agrawal is close but not enough at this stage to really go and make that move and gain that position as they enter into Brooklyn's corner once again, and now in for the Luffield right-hander. This is a set-up momentum that you see around this place. Not much elevation change here around the old airfield circuit here of Silverstone, but what is very, very key about how everyone is trying to have this amazing battle around this place is that it's all about power, and Agrawal struggled there off the exit of the final corners, and that has all of a sudden meant that the gap to Bell Warrior has just grown and grown and grown, and in fact Bell Warrior are having a really good run of things right now as they start to encroach on some lap traffic, who's just been able to dive back out of the pits and spins there on the outside of Chapel Corner, and that just effectively means that life's a little bit easier. Tucked up in the toe is Ushwal Bell Warrior here, trying to get past Saran, who moves to the left-hand side of the circuit, trying to break toe a little bit here as they hit the brakes into the right. So the race lead battle very much on here at the moment as they head in through Stowe. Slightly wider line taken there by Bell Warrior just behind Saran, just holding the middle line quite nicely as they head into the Vale and Club corners as they now start to make that run back up towards home at this section, rising up through the left-hand bend. They missed the Abbey chicane entirely here, but it's these two at the front where all the focus is. Again, back into line. Not quite there in terms of making a move just yet, but this is the tactical chess setup game that we talk about time and time again. When it comes to racing, you always are playing mind games with your opponent. You're trying to place the car where your opponent does not want you to be at this stage, as every driver looks to try and have a pretty good run of things here at the front of the field as they all try and negotiate a way around here. Very, very difficult lap out on track. Looking backwards here from Saran's perspective through turn number one. Slightly missed apex there from Bell Warrior, and of course that dirty air effect not as prevalent as, say, a Formula 1 vehicle's dirty air is, but you still lose a little bit. You get a bit of a wash from the dirty air, the turbulences from the downforce. It makes life always very tough. That lap traffic not helping matters either, just in front here of Bell Warrior and Saran, and that is Bear Shape, who will have to try and get out of the way. Moves to the inside, does just enough, but this has opened the door up then potentially for a move. Bell Warrior thinking about this one, but holding the main line there on the outside, doesn't want to really move off of that so much, but again, a little look here, gets a wiggle, gets a nose down to the inside. You can hold too wide through this long left, but not quite happening at the moment. This front pack, absolutely fantastic, and just behind Bell Warrior as well, you got Garvid Agrawal trying to get in on this one for third as well. Avinash Gupta is in fourth place. Not much to do here, but the front three, look at this from Agrawal. He's going to look for the inside, but it's not quite there at the moment here. Slightly wider line taken. It's almost flat through that right-hand bend at Bridge as they all try and funnel on through. But now as they almost weave through the traffic like it's an endurance race, they're all starting to focus and think, okay, what's the goal at the end? We know it's a 20-minute race. We know we've got to be aggressive quick, but we don't know how aggressive that we need to be in terms of this battle. Agrawal in third, just biding the time, and that's all you need to do here at this stage. Just think, oh, what's the time? It's that easy as you go on through and try and find every single battle out on circuit, and it's all about who can find themselves in the best possible position when it comes to all of this racing. So, through the left and right to the Magnus Bettigate section, one of the most iconic sections of the track in terms of motorsport, funneling through the Chapel Corner, and now onto the Hangar Straight once again. Saeed Saran in control at the front of the field. The top three all nose to tail at this point in time as they all funnel on through. Gaps, though, starting to form, and Gupta under pressure as well in fourth position from Adak there in fifth. You can see, look at them right now, as Debjit Adak trying to look for the inside, potentially had second thoughts on the brakes into that corner, looked for the inside initially, but decided to think better of it then, trying to go on through. So Debjit Adak sitting there and just waiting for a tiny little bit behind Avinash Gupta, and there will be time later on in this one to maybe have a run. Maybe the traffic here might just be a good source of trying to make that move, but for the time being, Saran, Bell Warrior, Agrawal, here your top three, still having those good battles up and down the order, but we're talking about a driver's eyes perspective as well. Let's get ourselves a little look at a certain perspective here. This is a little insight into who may be having a good race here today.
Hi. So about today's race, I really think Sai is going to win, as much as it pains me to say it. Me, Amitesh, Avinash, and maybe Garvit will have a close battle for the top 5 or top 4. So that should be fun. So I guess Sai is the winner, and then the remaining, that'll just the battling order will decide.
Today, you see, that was the prediction, and looking here at the race leader, it's all good for Saeed Saran. Yabdullah and Abidi here is down in 10th place, started in 10th position overall in terms of prediction, had to come down in and take stock, not the day that was required, but Saeed Saran here at the moment doing well. There is Yadula there for the time being, but Saran here at this stage just trying to make that move here up front, struggling to break around this place. Actually catches a little bit of a bump there, going over that right-hand side. Of course, the track does just dip away ever so slightly on the outside of certain sections, and Belwaria trying to find a little look, but again, that bridge section, it's flat almost through that bit, so you're always going to struggle to try and get any nose to the inside, especially this final sector. You're always trying to find that little bit of grip, as these drivers are all pulling away from 4th and 5th, and everybody else then on back are running in their own little world, so to speak, from 6th place on backwards, as they struggle just to try and gain the extra place here, or that extra place there. But Belwaria here trying to get in as close as possible, right over to the pit wall then goes Saeed Saran. He is desperate to break the draft at any opportunity here, and this is maybe a little bit detrimental to the way that racing's going right now. Being that uber defensive, it's only backing everyone up into him at the moment, as Garvin Agrawal is just trying to play that patience game. Just sit, just wait. There will be opportunities later on coming up, so everyone's going to be searching. Everyone's going to be waiting here for the right time to pounce. We're halfway through this race already, and there is more traffic then on the horizon for the race leader Saeed Saran, who has Yashkara to get by, and that's always going to be a little bit tougher in terms of dealing with the battles that are going on. So we will see how that one all comes into play as they all funnel on through this section. Saeed Saran gets a little sideways, and this is going to push him out wide, and this is the opportunity needed here for Bell Warrior to look to the outside to get this one. Has the overlap side by side through the Abbey section, and now towards Bridge. Inside goes to Bell Warrior, and Saeed Saran has to yield as they go on through. The positions change at the front here as Uswal Bell Warrior takes the lead of this one overall, and now all of a sudden it's gone wrong for second. Garvin Agrawal into the back there of sight of everything that's gone on. The former race leader in troubles. There is Agrawal here on the brakes, has broken a little bit later, run into the back of Saeed Saran, who is missing the rear right, and all of a sudden the entire race has gone pretty badly here for Saran, who will have to dive down into the pit and hope there is something to run back with and try and get on through. Just look at the fast repairs. You can get effectively a fresh car and go back out again, so nobody is ever completely out of the race, so to speak. But all of that means that Ushwal Bell Warrior is clear 1.8 seconds from Garvin Agrawal here as Yashkara runs off of the circuit, and it now promotes up Avinash Gupta up into the 3rd place and doing exactly what was needed in terms of this battle, this race that's going on. So it's all gone massively wrong for Saran, who will now be back out and away again, it seems, in 8th place here out on circuit. Or no, still down in on the lane, gets some tyres and should be off and going again, down in 8th place right now, and it could be even a little bit more, but Saran a long way down, now down to 9th as through goes another driver up a position, and that is Endushant, having a very, very solid run back through the field here, now up 6 places here today in this battle. It's on 7th and 8th, though, as this is Aditya there having a little look down the inside, and I believe getting past a struggling, technically, Ishan Bard. So, they're getting the place and moving up now into 7th place in this one overall. But everybody now is just thinking about, okay, can we get it to the end? If we're in a little bit of space on our own, there's going to be no real worries here in terms of this one. There's 5 laps to go on the clock. There is Sai Saran in 9th position here in this race. But there is your leader now, Ujwal Belwaria, here just running through the Maggots and Beckett section, in control of this race at the front, but unable to relent in terms of this race. This is going to be a very, very tough little battle in terms of him all the way to the end. Agrawal 1.6 seconds back. It's always applying that pressure. It's always there. You can't afford to let up, or you're going to give him an advantage to maybe get within that 1 second window and get to as close as possible here right now. But that gap is extending now out to 2 seconds here, as you can see in the middle right of your main graphic down at the bottom of your screen right now. Agrawal is just able to be losing a little bit of time here as they go on. There's the comparison. It's 1.9 seconds at the moment, Belwaria to Agrawal here at this stage, and there is also the speed comparison as they go through the right-hand bend of bridge, and now starting to jam on the brakes and go on through. It seems at the moment like that gap is just starting to open, but a couple of drivers in front once again for Ujwal Belwaria, and this is a battle for position here. The final driver's on the leading lap at the moment. Shivan Bishwas there in 12th position, and Tej Patel in 13th, trying to stay as close as possible. The difference in their lap times last time by was 6/10 in favour of Tej Patel, and they've got to be careful in terms of how they battle in front of Ujwal Belwaria here in the next couple of moments, because they do have that licence to go out there and battle, but at the same time, they are going to be coming up a lap down, so they'll be getting the automated iRacing blue flag notice because they are within 1.5 seconds of the cars in front. This was nice and narrow. Wide goes Tej Patel into the grass and trying to gather it back up again, and that does compromise the line slightly there for Ujwal Belwaria, but the key there is that it is a straight line going on through, comfortably diving over to the left-hand side, the right-hand side of circuit at the time there, and comfortably getting out of the way there was Bishwash here as Agrawal. It's going to be caught up in all of it, going on through, just about skates away without too many dramas, but a bit of contact there, and that has really hurt Agrawal's chances here of attacking and getting anything of a race victory out of it. There was always going to be worries with lap traffic getting involved, but Garvit Agrawal just about gets away without too many dramas. Tej Patel and Shivan Bishwash coming together, and Agrawal just looking at the vehicle at this stage. Looks like there isn't much damage at all on that vehicle, so doing just enough in the Galara F3, and Avinash Gupta was a little bit too far away in 3rd place to really close down that gap from everything that has all been happening right now out on track. Jahan Noble up into 4th, and Aditya Iya now into 5th, with Debjit Adak now down into 6th position from all of the dramas that have been going on out on circuit. But we do have a little bit of a look then in terms of what we've got. We've got a little bit of into the spotlight, some would say, right now, and this is why we have a little look at one of the drivers here today who is out there racing, trying to pick up as many points as possible.
My name is Dushyant, and I currently study electronics engineering, and I've been a sim racer from the past 2 years, and through sim racing, I look forward to participating in real races if that's a possibility. So I think sim racing is being sim racing is a path for people who didn't have a chance to be into motorsport at a very early age.
Well, a few dramas there down on the front stretch as we go on back to live action. One vehicle ran into troubles then in the early goings. Ujwal Belwaria having none of that then at the moment, and it looked like it was Ishan Bard who is missing the front and had a huge moment all on his own at that stage in time. Got into the grass, smacks into the wall, and there is no front on it. So Ishan Bard effectively out of the race and losing a lot of time here in terms of this one. We're on lap 12 of the event, not long left to go. A lot of drivers coming in and back out after dramas at the moment. KB Prithvi out and away. Same for Yadal Abidi, who also falls one lap down here in this event. But at the moment, it is Belwarrior who leads, Agrawal in second, and Avinash Gupta, who we've got on screen right now, is in third position at this stage and knows that with not long left to go, it's all about consolidation at this point. Every driver hoping for just a little bit of something that gives them what they want, and it is working right now for a number of reasons, a number of drivers that they go on through, and this is just promoting everyone up a place. Saran back now up into 6th place after having to take that stop after contact down earlier on in the event. There have been a lot of casualties from this race up and down the order, but everyone focusing on, okay, where can you place in this one if you're trying to play damage limitation? Well, Sai Saran is trying everything possible to make that damage limitation just that little bit easier. Just to keep the gap between at this stage. Saran with a lot of work to do, but there is Ujwal Belwarrior about to start the final lap then of this event here, this junior category event, the Pro Series coming up after this. But this is a brilliant race so far from Ujwal Belwarrior, who has simply not put a foot wrong in terms of scrapping hard, looking to gain place and position, and just being in the right place at the right time. Every rival around Ujwal Belwarrior has fallen into disrepair and out of contention for this battle for the win in this one through the maggots. And now the Beckett's corner, and Chapel here is the next right-hander that comes along. One vehicle off miles into Normandy, some would say at some stage, and that's Prasanna Rajan there running into a few troubles, is now 2 laps down in 18th position. They're having a few issues, but Ujwal Belwarrior into the second sector of the lap now through the right-hand bend here of Stowe Corner, and now they flick it left, part of the historic layout here of Legacy Silverstone. There is Axia they're in 5th place and looking pretty nosy at this stage. Jahan Noble in 4th. This is going to be a last lap scrap that's worth keeping in mind. Jahan Noble has not got enough of a breakaway here, and all of a sudden the wants to try and get on through, but it seems that Jahan Noble at this stage is looking at every which way to get through. But we've got eyes on Ujwal Belwarrior, who head through the Priory corner in towards Brooklands, and now Luffield only remains. The gap was coming down towards the end of this one, but there are no worries at all with Ujwal Belwarrior's performance today. Some would say he was the strongest warrior of all, because Ujwal Belwarrior comes to the line and takes round 2 of the junior category formula with a very, very accomplished drive. It will be Garvit Agrawal who comes home with 2nd place, and it will be a little wait for 3rd as Avinash Gupta comes around the final corner and will be picking up that 4th place. That 3rd place come the end. It looks like Noble got close in what was 4th place. In fact, has lost the place to Aditya out on circuit. So that was key. Jahan Noble falling back by a second as well, being crucial. Just running wide at Stowe Corner. The move was already done on the hanger straight as Aditya gets ahead of Jahan Noble to get 4th and 5th place, changing around in the latter stages of this one. Saran with 6th, and it will be 7th for Endeshant coming over towards the line. You can get confirmation of results as they go on through. Unofficial as always. Of course, the stewards will be having a look on all proceedings that will be going on after this one. So it will be Ujwal Belwarrior who will be picking up the win as Dushyant right now comes over to the line. It will be Agrawal who will take 2nd and Gupta in 3rd. Iyer is 4th, Noble 5th, Saran recovering back to 6th place as we see coming over to the line with a brilliant run, Endeshant in 7th, and the last finisher on the leading lap will be Nanveet Chowdhury, who was caught up in the first lap melee at Copse Corner, got a massive hit, but comes back with 8th place. 1 lap down, Debjit Adak running into troubles today with, of course, Shaurya Kapani also in a few little bits of issues. Amitesh Rao, and then, of course, PR Abhishek there in 12th position, having himself 1 lap down as well. Via Sheth Shibam Bishwash there as well, 1 lap down. Had contact with Tej Patel. Also meant contact with Agrawal, which caused that gap at the front to really extend. Ishan Bada was up as high as 6th, ran into trouble. Same for Yadala Abidi, who did not have the best run today, 2 laps down. Same for Prasanna Rajan and Yash Kara. 5 laps down was KB Prithvi, and then Siddharth Senel there 11 laps down, out after just 2 laps worth of racing action here today. But what's going to be very crucial about the racing action that we've got is that we've got the pro category formula coming up very, very soon. That will be
The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a 0 becomes a 1, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD Black NVMe SSD. Fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.
Op 4 has placed a diffuser near a bomb. Destroy it. Diffuser located. Protect the bomb. Last operator standing. Located the diffuser. Destroy it.
...20 minutes, but this reverse is going to be massive for everyone trying to get themselves moving on forward. The grid is going to be up for you in just a moment's time as everybody will be looking to try and get themselves through. It'll be Vijay Rajai there in pole position, Kumar second, Cavan in third. Then you got Teixeira and Fernandez fourth and fifth, with Yadav in sixth and Hadi in seventh. Budaraja will start from eighth, with Prithvi in ninth, Kuti 10th and Ibrahim in 11th. Yedra will start then from 12th position with Kaushik in 13th, Rohit Raut in 14th position with Samaravel then getting into 15th. Then you've got Kupta in 16th, Teja in 17th, Tyagi all the way back in 18th and out of position, Dodia 19th, and of course Ronnie Veschelberger starts in 20th, Sahil Shah 21st, and the last driver in this 21-car grid. Everybody looking to try and get themselves the best possible result here from this one. A new track looms on the horizon, but this has got to be an aggressive start for those in the middle, and reverse grid races normally are the ones which are a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more desperate. Let's get ourselves ready. Engine notes rise, lights on top of the gantry. Barney's ready with the flag. Let's get ourselves ready for racing action here as they get themselves underway. A good start from some, not so good from others. They're on the inside there, that second position. It was an okay getaway as they all slam on the brakes into the S for the first time. Contact as they go on through, and look at this. It's massive. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars. I count, all getting caught up here in lap 1, turn 1. Always tough. It's still going off there at the back. Drivers without rear wings trying to get themselves going on forward. There's carnage. It's bedlam here at the start as they go on through, and it's not ideal here as everyone tries to funnel through, trying to work out who's actually managed to get away well. Cavin's still there in second position there, B. Cavin, so this is okay, but everybody running into troubles. I count Hattie there in third place potentially, and Fernandez back in fourth, but a whole heap of drivers struggling, and if my maths is looking at me correctly here right now, it is the winner from last time out, Mohamed Ibrahim, who's out there at the front. We've got eyes on Raghav Budiraja here in 9th place, no nose on that vehicle. It's all gone wrong. There's Sai Prithvi all the way back down in 17th position at the moment after everything that had gone on. Amit Kuti looking a sight for sore eyes at the moment, and not what the championship would have wanted, having to take a fast repair and get going, but it is Mohamed Ibrahim at the front, Kavin there in second place, and going on forward there is Federico Teixeira all the way down in 14th. That's Chevlin Fernandez in 4th place at the moment, trying to pick up as many places as he can. A good start from Chevlin Fernandez, trying to move on forward and gain a bit more in 3rd, but this race, it has absolutely exploded off of the opening corner, and this was the worry. A corner which is very open into very close always makes life a little bit tougher. Budiraja is starting to search and hope that pit lane is on the horizon, but the first lap soon to be score complete as a number of drivers diving down in, and I count that was 3rd place, I do believe, who did come down to make a pit stop. So not Fernandez, but you can see like Rohit Rout out of this race. They go on through. A few drivers really stopped it to a standstill, didn't get any contact. The likes of Ryden Samravel is one of those drivers who's gone through. Banu Teja trying to continue out there at the moment. I believe we may just be getting a safety car for that opening incident. It looks like that is the case. A safety car, it seems, out there on circuit for that lap 1 incident. So everyone's going to be slowing themselves down, it seems, and getting themselves all going forward potentially here as they all go on through. So there is the iRacing Porsche first safety car. They're out on track. Everybody now behind Ibrahim, and I do not blame them for throwing a safety car in that position. A massive, massive accident then to start. It was Hattie who came down in and made a stop when the the safety car was called, and this is an iRacing safety car around this place, so they're going to be stuck for 3 laps around this place, and there will be no add-on time from what we can see. There's Niranjan Kumar in 4th place, missing the rear wing. A lot of drivers missing the rear wing right now, and maybe best advised to think about diving down into the pits as they negotiate around this track with a bit of damage. They will have a free pit stop, some would say, if they do come down in and make that stop, and that's going to be absolutely crucial for everyone who's thinking about coming in, making that stop, getting back out again. Does wonders for the fuel as everyone has slaved a bit, which means they can be a little bit more aggressive. And talking about drivers who are out of position, Ankit Tyagi, who, remember, started all the way back in 17th position, had a very terrible race 1 yesterday, now finds himself up in 6th place. So Ankit Tyagi having a fantastic run of things over the course of action, and will be absolutely magnificent for this one going on. So everything that has gone on in this race has been massive. There is Ryden Samravel now up into 8th place off of that start as everyone has funneled into a form of a line as they all just sit behind everyone right now looking to get things going. There's how your field looks. Ibrahim from Kavin from Fernandez, then it's Kumar, Teja, Tyagi, Kuti in 7th place and 8th for Samravel. Shah is 9th, Teixeira in 10th, and Ronnie Veschelberger is in 11th position after starting right near the back, having technical issues yesterday, trying to get things going. One of the guest drivers in terms of this series, along with Teixeira. So Ronnie Veschelberger with a little bit of work to do to move on through, but 11th place isn't bad at all. Sai Prithvi, though, lots of work to do. Wanted to talk about how there needed to be improvement, knew what needed to be done here for this race today, but ultimately lap 1 has struck again, and car number 12 is down in 12th position here as they pace behind the safety car, which is not going to be ideal. While we are pacing, though, under this safety car, this is going to be a really, really important time to see who is going to put themselves right up there at the pointy end in the next stage of this one. All of this time is going to be falling away, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of drivers dive down onto the lane. Niranjan Kumar takes the initiative, diving down then into pit lane, that very narrow inside of that pit in front of everyone. Amit Kuti is going to take the same initiative, and look at that, the panels all starting to maybe fall off at this stage as they all go and pace behind that safety car. They've got a couple laps before they go back to green flag running, so they'll keep an eye on that. And of course, looking at the iRacing Porsche for safety car, the way you can tell when they have one lap to green is the lights do switch off on top of the safety car at the moment, as there is actually Tiagi's rear wing hanging on by a thread at the moment, some would say, right now. So that's not ideal at all. There is Federico Teixeira now in 8th, Ronnie Wesselberger all the way back into 9th place. But this is something that frequently happens here at the Nürburgring. Such a tough place to go and make a start. You've got an open, expansive track which narrows under brakes into a downhill braking zone, which could very easily make the spotters that these drivers will have, the automated spotter system that they've got, a little bit difficult. Lights are off on top of the safety car, though, going on by, so this is going to be crucial. We are going back to green flag running this next time going forward, with Mohammed Ibrahim in control of this one at the front. But before we do go back to some green flag running, we're going to take a little look at the driver prediction at this stage and see who is an eye to watch for in this reverse, especially after everything that's been going on so far.
Hey guys, my name is Sai Prithvi. I drive car number 57 in IR Esports, and for the upcoming race I hope I can finish in the top 5 if everything goes according to plan and I can avoid the carnage in lap 1.
Well, Sai Prithvi, 10th position, got set 3rd place last time out 1 day ago. So Sai's got a little bit of work to do from 10th place to scythe away through the pack and up to try and close down Mohammed Ibrahim at the front, exactly where is needed at this stage. So work to be done, but there is, of course, a lot of time still to go. They'll have themselves about 11 minutes by my count to get themselves going and racing once again. This has taken a huge chunk of time out of this one as they've gone on through. Those couple of laps behind the safety car that they've had have taken off a full 7 minutes off of the clock. So they've got a lot of work to do. They are to get themselves exactly where they want. For Kumar and Kuti, who have both come in, taken the fast repair and got back out again, they're in 14th and 15th place right now. So expect them to want to make charges through the field. A few drivers with damage deciding that it's not worth coming in, making that stop and sacrificing the track position here today. They will all be looking to try and move on forward. But there is still time as they move on down by the right-hand bend and up the hill very, very quickly. Before we go back to live action, we're going to take a little look at Amit Kuti and how he's been getting on in terms of the racing. Championship leader in a bit of trouble.
My name is Amit. I'm 16 years old. I study at Don Bosco School of Excellence, Chennai, and I'm a racer at Indian Sim Racing League. And
Well, let's get back to some green flag action. Big wide line from Mohammed Ibrahim, staying behind the safety car, getting a good launch, going on forward. Let's get back to action. Bang! In the background, about 6 cars back. Someone hard into the wall as they go on through the final section. I didn't quite catch who it was, but someone hard into the wall in the background there as they go back to racing action. Ibrahim okay as everyone funnels on through. Ronnie Wesselberger there with a little bit of contact in towards turn number 1. Getting on through fine, and it looks like everyone just about funneling on through. So Prithvi up now into 8th place, going on through. Everyone's gone off there. Wesselberger with contact there. I believe Teixeira just about getting away with that inside Prithvi. So they just about escape with everything that's gone on there. So Ronnie Wesselberger not having a good start, and they can see, bang, huge contact. 1, 2, 3 drivers getting involved, getting a bit greedy on the restart there. So they all go through. Prithvi's okay, and just looking at everybody trying to have a good run today. It seems they can't get anything going. Teixeira with contact. Prithvi will skate on through there. That little bit of contact. So all going wrong at the start once again. They've got 4 laps of action. Mohammed Ibrahim's got exactly what he wants here. Just count the laps off there. That was Sunil Kukta with the contact with Teixeira as we caught that one on replay. Just beached almost there on the outside, waiting for a chance to get through. There is Ibrahim at the front of the pack and looking absolutely marvellous at the moment here, trying to pull away from Kevin in 2nd position here right now, just behind that for 3rd. That's where the battle really is looking here at the moment, because there is Shevlin Fernandez here in third place, knowing that there's pressure here. Little look to the inside, and that's going to be a change here as they head to the Bezwek chicane. Some would say as Banu Teja here had a great run at Spa-Francorchamps, now back up into third place. Exactly what's wanted here to keep the pressure on for a top 5 in the championship. Banu Teja up into third as they all cycle on for another lap. Prithvi now already up into 5th, and I think that's Tyagi coming down in and making a stop then from 6th. At the moment, Naranjan Kumar then continuing on. Amit Kuti there in 7th place. 9 minutes to go on the clock. But crucially for Kuti, this is all about getting on forward, gaining places, and with all those dramas on that restart, up into 7th is good. Look at the inside, not quite there though for the time being. The waiting game of trying to gain a place is tough here at the Nürburgring. You think you've got to run, but there isn't really a long straight to make that happen. Run slightly wide, and that's Prithvi off there in the middle of no man's land through turn number 2. We catch it on the slow-mo. Grass on the inside, trying to find a correction, and there's no way you're going to go through turning right into a left-hand corner. There's no way that that's the optimal line, and Prithvi is now back down into 9th position. There is Kuti in 6th place, trying to get close enough to now get a top 5 in the offing right now. In terms of gap behind to what's needed, it looks like Kumar 7 seconds away here at this stage. From 4th place is Shevlin Fernandez, so a lot of work to do to gain back to that, and there is Shevlin Fernandez then as 2nd, 3rd and 4th nicely in their train, and they'll just want a quiet race from here to the end. There goes Kevin sideways through the right-hander and dropping the podium places. Banu Teja jumps up into 2nd, and Shevlin Fernandez is now back into 3rd place again, but Cavin's going to have to worry about the hyperheating of the tyres on the new tyre model that's on these Dallara F3s. There's Naranjan Kumar in 5th place under pressure right now from the championship leader, but ultimately here, Amit Kuti has just got to play a thinking game now. He's got to play the wise man's strategy. He's got to play with philosopher's time, trying to get a way through. You need that clarity in order to try and gain a place. So through they go. Amit Kuti nice and fine for the moment. Now taking the draft. No DRS board. It's going to help them. The wings are going to pop up at the back. These are Formula 3-star vehicles, not Formula 1. As they look down towards the first corner, that big braking zone. Mercedes grandstand in front of them, a lunge to the inside. Has Kuti got it slowed up? Yes, but a big wide line. Oh, just about room given there as they go on through. Kuti now skates around the outside here at turn 2. Has run off the road though. Has to be careful about that one. And there is the move just about done through turn 3 into turn 4. So Amit Kuti makes it a top 5 for the time being. There's not much that Naranjan Kumar can really argue with otherwise here, with 6.5 minutes remaining here in this race, down through the curves and in towards turn number 5 and 6, and now on forward. It's a case of these two staying together. The lead absolutely perfect, but drivers making progress. Remember how Hadi made that stop early on here in this race and decided to come in when the safety car was called? Well, look at Abdul Hadi now, back in 7th position here and chasing down these two for a top 5 place. And this is crucial for Abdul Hadi at this stage, because this has been a really inspired choice with some of the damage that was there to come in pit early, knowing that having to wait to the back of the pack worked. It was still brilliant. There's Mohammed Ibrahim at the front of the field, and look at the breakaway, 8.5 seconds in a couple of laps at the moment. Banu Teja there in 2nd position, and Shevlin Fernandez is only a second back here at this stage, and that is a crucial number here. Staying within a second is vital over the course of these racing drivers as they look to go on and get themselves through. So we'll see how that one all looks to funnel out as they battle on again and again. The driver that we saw going off then at the start was Samaravel, who got the power all wrong on the restart. But there is Amit Kuti in 5th place, trying to make some progress. It's 2.5 seconds to get back to B Cabin, but that's a lot of work. But already it's down 3/10 on the front stretch and into turn number 1. So Cavin's going to be under that pressure. Amit Kuti is going to try and desperately close down the gap as much as possible. Abdul Hadi there in 7th is not safe here from Pratamesh. Yedra, bang! Both of them come together. Big incident between them as they both go through. We catch it immediately on the replay here as they funnel on by. And you can see here how Pradamesh Yedra here just ends up the innocent bystander there going around. And where do you go? The car spread eagle across the circuit. No chance of hitting the brakes. They both come together, and Pradamesh Yedra is effectively having to take the tow and say that race is pretty much over. That promotes Sai Prithvi back up into 7th place then here in this one as they all look to try and get those laps. Ronnie Veschelberger, remember, had that contact on the restart, is back now into 8th place after all of this. So it's going well. It's going absolutely splendidly on the recovery for Ronnie Veschelberger, of course, the guest driver here for this weekend. But what is key is that every driver is trying to pick up that place. One place here, one place there. Works well. There's Ankit Tyagi, who's come down in, made a stop, come back out again, and is in 9th place, trying to gain all of that time back again. But keep an eye out on what is 4th and 5th place at the moment. There's Raghav Budiraja there in what is 10th place, but it is Amit Kuti where the eyes have got to be, surely at this stage. That gap between 4th and 5th down now to just a second and a half at this stage. And now B. Cavan looking at 4th place. That could be going away in the blink of an eye with not long remaining here in this race outright. Everyone tries to battle it out and get exactly what they want coming out of this. Amit Kuti trying to get as close as possible. Really confident under the brakes, uses all the momentum. That's a mistake. That's a place. Amit Kuti picking that one up. That was a mistake on power on the exit and a comfortable position gain. So Kuti up to 4th. And here you can see it right now. Very narrow. And that was almost like it was letting the position go through that corner. Knowing that Kuti was the faster driver. No real reason to fight for B. Cabin. And just like that, there is Amit Kuti into 4th. Thinking that there is a recovery podium on the horizon, despite being caught up and waylaid in the opening lap. I would say siege going through that opening section. So Amit Kuti now in 4th is trying to get a podium, but it's not out of the woods yet. Here is Mohammed Ibrahim in complete command at the front of the pack right now, walking away with this one without any real worry at all, with a handful of minutes to go, a handful of laps in the back pocket. It seems like Ibrahim is in total wonderland once again here in this one. There's a new kid on the block, some would say, who's going to be putting a real charge up for the championship. Banu Teja there in 2nd position right now. We take a little look here from a fly-by drone camera, some would say. It's doing very well to keep up going on forward, but Banu Teja there in 2nd, having a little bit of a moment, and it's not the one that I think people want. If that's the one I think it is, and I think it is, that's a dropout, and that is 2nd position cruelly taken away. Chevelin Fernandez then up into 2nd place. Amit Kuti will now be in 3rd and has a shot at 2nd after, I believe that is a dropout there, causing the race to go away from Banu Teja at the worst possible time with not long remaining here in this one overall. So Amit Kuti will chase down against Chevelin Fernandez, hoping for 2nd, and there's Niranjan Kumar and B. Cavan coming together there at the opening corner. What has happened there? So Kumar had already made the place, spins it down at turn 1, and again a case of nowhere to go for Cavan. They come together. Can I go through? No, you can't. So Kumar away. Look at Sai Prithvi here, now having to try and navigate past the walking wounded here on the outside. Power on the exit. Yep, I'm going to pick up that one without too many worries at all. Down at the inside, heading towards the Valvoline and Ford curve, and picking up both of them for the price of not very much. And, well, you've got a chip in the chair sometimes. You've got nothing but a chicken wing on a string. And Sai Prithvi proving that it is working here to get up into 4th place. So, now that changes everything. Ibrahim leads. Fernandez 2nd. It's Kuti in 3rd. Kumar has now dropped back into 5th with Prithvi 4th. Cavan now into 6th place. Tyagi up to 7th. Veschelberger 8th. Budiraja 9th. And it's Kupta now rounding out the top 10. But these two drivers here in 2nd and 3rd looking like they want those fights. 4th, 5th and 6th, they're all going to be trying to get themselves home as quickly as possible. I expect Cavan will have to dive down in and make a late stop here in this one with the damage. Otherwise, it's going to be a case of how far can you run all the way to the end. The good news is that there's about 16 seconds of time to Ankit Tyagi, who is sat there right now in 7th place. So it is a long pit lane. Maybe we'll fall behind Tyagi, but the key is be out surely inside the top 10, I think, is the look here as we are on the final lap then of this race. All of that time has whizzed on by at the moment. That's Ronnie Veschelberger here in 8th position at the moment. So they all look to try and get on through. There is not long here in this one. I believe there's been a change of place for 2nd and 3rd as Shevlin Fernandez is now behind Amit Kuti. So Kuti through at turn 1. He absolutely loves it. Got it done, and he gets himself now through into 2nd place late here in this one. Amit Kuti getting by Shevlin Fernandez in the 2nd and 3rd, but they are on the final lap, so Fernandez does not have long to try and get this one back, but we know how quick Amit Kuti is as the championship leader. This has been a masterfully worked recovery here in this reverse grid race, and back up into 2nd place. It's exactly the same top 2 as we had one night ago. It seems at the moment with all of this battling going on through, Fernandez deep there through and really struggling, but look at this breakaway once again for Mohamed Ibrahim. Through everything, the seas parted and everything just worked out for Mohamed Ibrahim up to the front of the field by the time the safety car was called, and when everyone was fighting up over each other, Mohamed Ibrahim had the chance to walk away through the final chicane, and why not double up on your race victory tally for the season? Mohamed Ibrahim is the master of the Nürburgring and absolutely walks away with the race victory by a commanding margin of nearly 18 seconds as Amit Kuti here will make the push to the line and take 2nd ahead of Shevlin Fernandez, who gets a very well-deserved podium for that drive and was absolutely marvellous from start to finish. You cannot fault Shevlin Fernandez. It will be Sai Prithvi, it seems, who will take that 4th place overall as they come over towards the end of this race. And it will be Naranjan Kumar who will take 5th ahead of a very, very wounded B. Kavin, who did have 2nd place at one point here in this event, but is now going to finish only in 6th. It will be Ankit Tyagi who will come home in 7th, rounding the final corner and making the push to the line. But there has also been a change here in the final section, because that is Raghav Budaraja who is through on a little bit of a damaged Ronnie Veschelberger there to pick up the 8th place come the end of that race. So Ronnie Veschelberger losing out late in the final run up the hill. Sunil Kukta will be rounding out the top 10 then after what was a manic 20 minutes worth of action here today. Let's get ourselves then the official classified results. Well, unofficial at this stage with Stewart's inquiry still pending. Mohamed Ibrahim goes back-to-back, picks up the win by 17 seconds over Amit Kuti. Shevlin Fernandez in 3rd, Sai Prithvi in 4th. Naranjan Kumar will come home in 5th place with B. Cav in 6th. Ankit Tyagi in 7th, and Raghav Budaraja rounding out the top 8. Ronnie Veschelberger gets 9th with Sunil Kukta in 10th. Vishwash Vijay Araj there had the pole position and is the last finisher on the leading lap in 11th place after everything that had gone down. Sahil Shah there is 12th position as we flick over the page, hopefully in a moment, to see who is 13th and onwards down here. A lot of drivers finishing this one lap down today here in this event, up to 21 drivers like to take Shara, the last finisher here on this one, but a massive result for Mohamed Ibrahim, as we are going to drag in for post-race interview right now, Mohamed Ibrahim. And well, Christmas came early, or whatever celebration you want to try and get there here, Mohamed Ibrahim. I don't think that would have been part of the plan to be first after the opening lap, surely.
Yeah, that was an amazing start. Hello, everyone. The start was really good, actually. Managed to get everyone. I think there was a massive incident on the inside, so just went around the outside and passed everyone. And by the 5th or 6th corner, I was in the lead.
It takes it just like that. It's so easy sometimes to pick up the lead, just pick up a place here, pick up a place there. But when they all come at once, then the safety car, we don't see many safety cars in this series. Was that a chance to reflect? Did the nerves maybe build up through that safety car? Or what was your sort of thought process going through how you wanted to attack that restart?
I was pretty calm, actually, because the safety car, actually, when you're the leader, you can dictate when to go. So you can gain quite a big advantage because you can decide when to go. So I was quite calm and happy with the start.
Well, happy with the start. You've picked up 2 wins in 2 days. You're really putting on a challenge.
Safety car, actually, when
here
you're
for
the leader, you can dictate when to go.
So in terms of,
you can gain quite a big
you've got
advantage
2 wins in a row. You're now the main challenger here in this
quite
one. And to
calm
win
and
by
happy with
such
the start.
margins as well. Do you feel that right now that you've got to work maybe even harder than everyone else just to keep up this sort of gap?
Yeah, obviously because they have more time to find. Because I'm already at the limit, so they have more lap time to find. So they can definitely catch up more than I can.
Well, before we let you go, Mohammed, yeah, it's a massive, massive race victory. Anyone you'd like to thank after picking up your second win of the
Obviously because
season?
they have more time to. Yes, I would like to thank you. I would like to thank the commentators. I would like to thank. I would like to thank IR Esport, Mohit, Volkswagen, Mumbai Falcons, and everyone who made this event possible. Thank you so much.
Well, Mohammed Ibrahim picking up a wonderful, wonderful
Yes, I would like to
race
thank
victory.
you. I would like to thank the commentators. I would like to thank.
Second place, but had to really
I would
work
like to
for it
thank
here
IR
today.
Esport,
Amit,
Mohit,
you got caught up in the
Volkswagen.
lap one dramas and had to make an unscheduled pit stop, but the way that you fought back through that field to really limit the damage by Ibrahim up at the top, that surely has to go down as one of your best drives of the season.
Yeah, thanks for sure. That was a really good race. Lap one was really unfortunate. I braked quite early, and I thought it was clean. I made it around the outside, but unfortunately, someone had an incident or something behind, and they tapped my rear, and basically my car was in. Had a lot of damage. I couldn't even get up to fifth gear, but thankfully the safety car came out, which helped quite a bit. And when I came out of when the safety car was off, I was in, I think, 17th, and had to do a lot of overtaking, and here and there were a few pile-ups as well, which I got lucky with. And by the end, when I crossed the finish line, I was quite surprised to know I was second place.
How manic is it looking at these restarts, and especially with the likes of Samuel off in the gravel and everyone starting to funnel out to 2 wide, 3 wide, trying to get through? How important is it to keep a level head when it comes to massive battles off of the starts?
I think it's, for me personally, it's quite easy because I can read into what the other driver is doing, and I can predict, anticipate what's going to happen, and I always prepare for the future. So I tend to not create big fights, and when I know the guy behind is faster, I just let him go and stick behind in his slipstream. So initially, when the safety car went, I was behind Niranjan for like 2-3 laps. He was quite quick, and then he made a small mistake, and I knew I had the pace to get past him and chase for the guys up ahead. So I timed my moves, and it worked out at the end.
It certainly did work out. Of course, 2 firsts, 2 seconds. You've not been lower than second in any of the races going on through. So in terms of now just trying to consolidate that lead, maybe hoping, looking at the next races, are you feeling that there's going to be more confidence moving on forward into the season?
Yeah, for sure. Nürburgring hasn't been one of my favorite tracks, and I'm looking forward to challenging for the win again in the future tracks. And I'm feeling quite confident, especially the last 4 races. They've been really good, and my performances have been good and clean, which is most important. So I'm feeling quite confident for the rest of the season ahead.
Amit Kuti there coming home with second place overall, and third place ended up going to Chevlin Fernandez, who joins me right now. Now, Chevlin, that was a case of everybody around you running into troubles and you having a clean run pretty much through all of it there. So in terms of just trying to keep your head on the swivel, avoiding all of the troubles left and the troubles right, it was almost a case of piloting a boat through very stormy seas.
Yeah, my main aim today was just to keep it clean. I mean, I knew for a fact I didn't have the pace for coming. You can see in the table, didn't have the pace as fast as Ibrahim and Kuti. They are too fast, but just keep it clean, keep the nose clean, and drive throughout. Avoid any collisions, unnecessary collisions. Just that was it. No plans. Start was pretty chaotic. I don't know what happened behind us. But over there, I don't know, Mohammed Ibrahim from P12 popped up to P1, and suddenly people were like 16, 17 seconds behind. And then the safety cars out. It was fun. It was fun to say the least. But yeah, I'll take P3.
I think you certainly will after a fantastic drive like that. It was very measured as well over the second half of the race. You knew how to take one driver, say he was quicker than you, drop behind, maybe just play the tactical approach to this one. But it looked like it was going to be fourth place for a very long time before a dropout managed to occur for one of your rivals here in this field. So in terms of maybe getting a little bit of fortune, a few drivers running into troubles that they weren't expecting, how important is it in this sort of race to get a good, clean result and get a massive boatload of points?
It is very crucial. I mean, right, just my main priority for this tournament is just keep it clean throughout. Probably I keep it consistent because, as you see, uh, not everyone in the top 3, 4 are very consistent. Or if as long as you're there in the top 4, top 5 throughout the series, that'd be good. But yeah, unfortunate for Bhanu, who was running really well. He had some connection issues. I think he deserved a good P2. But tough luck for him. And yeah, luck was on my side for today. And yeah, Amit came right from the back. I knew the pace difference and didn't want to lose time over there to unnecessarily lose time or cause any unnecessary incidents because I had Sai right behind us. So didn't want to take chances there, but try to keep him behind, but messed up in the last corner of the penultimate lap. But yeah, so
That's the world sometimes. It's sometimes the way it happens, but they say that fortune does favour the brave, and it was a very brave drive from you. Are you expecting maybe some very strong results? What's your aim heading over towards the next couple of rounds of the championship?
well, my humble aim, this championship is to finish at least around mid-table, at least P5. But yeah, looking at top 3 are out of the picture. I mean, these guys are way too quick. Coming honestly to keep it real. But yeah, somewhere mid-table, top 5, around the 5th place will realistic aim to finish.
Well, that sounds very hopeful, and we'll hope that you manage to get your achievements and you make your goal. Chevlin Fernandez there coming up with 3rd position overall. But that's going to bring a close to performances that we have here today. Some wonderful racing up and down both categories that we've had here in terms of racing action, and it has been mega and manic and everything in between here on IR Esports. A massive thanks has to go to Volkswagen Motorsport India, to the Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited, to hashtag GamerConnect, and of course to everyone who has been helping out from Raya Racing and India Karting. Of course, my name's been Jake Sperry here on the coverage for you today. There's been some brilliant work being done behind the scenes as well here at IR Esports.
The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a 0 becomes a 1, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD Black NVMe SSD. fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.
Op 4 has placed a diffuser near a bomb. Destroy it. Diffuser located. Protect the bomb. Last operator standing. Located the diffuser. Destroy it.